everyone, how are you all? Hope you're all well. Today we're going to be looking at this, the Oculus Quest 2. It's coming up to a year old now. It came out beginning of October in 2020 and I bought this day one. First ever device I pre-ordered. So today, not going to do an in-depth look at it, just more of a reflection, a looking back of what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and more importantly, do I regret buying it? So yeah, let's just crack on with it. I got this because my mate had an Oculus Rift, is it? And my brother had the PlayStation VR. So we played the PlayStation VR, and do you know what? For the PlayStation VR, it is good. It is good for what it is. I see the PlayStation of you plug it in and you want to play a game. And the Rift was pretty much the same as well. And then this one came along. The prices of those were quite high. And not just the price of those was high, but every time you had to set it up, there was cables coming off everywhere. You had to set cameras up, or you know what I mean. There was lots of stuff like that. So I found them absolute bit of a pain, really. I mean, the PlayStation one, I've never seen so many cables coming off something. But then this came along, and it's just a standalone device. This is it. I've still got the original strap, and I'm okay with the original strap. Because the strap is probably a good place to start, because I know quite a lot of people had issues with the Pro strap, and this is a definite downside because they've been cracking, and I've seen people get replacements, and yeah, the Oculus will send out replacements, and they've been cracking again. I mean, that's not for everyone. You know, some people have had the same Pro head strap from the beginning and it's been absolutely fine, but I've seen these slightly cracking, whatever. But what gets me is when they crack, you've got it on your head, it's going to fall, and then you could damage this. So yeah, I'm okay with this, and the reason why I like this as well is because my son uses the Oculus Quest quite a lot. That's another con we'll get into in a minute, and he finds it really easy to adjust and really easy to you know, it's robust, it's there. The straps come off, so you can change them. There are different replacements for it as well, which I know some people have got some really good setups, really good third-party ones and everything else. Plus you can 3D print the brackets for the side so you can adapt other head straps. That is good. The modding community as well in the Oculus Quest community is quite good as well, because when somebody's made something like this, they tend to put it on Thingiverse and you can 3D print it off or get somebody else to. So that's one thing, and I am quite happy with the strap. One thing that does bug me is these down here, being the fabric that they are, I have to clean these constantly, especially when my son's playing with it, because he's just got dirty hands. That's just what kids do, really. That and the straps on the joysticks. We'll get them in a minute. Another problem with it, which has happened, is this is the original like head strap that goes on, it just clips onto there, and people have been getting rashes and things off that, but Oculus did replace them. They said if you want, call them up, they'll send you a replacement one. So it's great. Customer service of the Oculus, I think, has been really good, so in that respect I can't fault them. Going on to the actual joysticks themselves, very comfortable to hold, I find. I find it really odd that when you go to, when I play my mate's Rift one, it just, everything feels a little bit different. These are really nice, compact, small, and granted, yeah, you can still bloody hit the wall with them, and I've seen them break, but that's just user error, really. Don't play a boxing game next to a wall. VR accidents are always going to happen because people try and play them in silly places. So, but yeah, the joysticks themselves are really good. Although another issue I have got, and this is not an issue with the Oculus Quest because this is just an issue with modern analog sticks. Drift. We're getting drift on these now. There's nowhere near as bad as what you can get on Nintendo's Joy-Cons. I've got joysticks and joypads from the 70s that still work fine. Yet why have I got 4 Joy-Cons and not one of them works properly anymore? And these have just started to suffer the same as well with theirs. I think there probably is a way they can get there and clean them, but it shouldn't be an issue. Battery life on these, absolutely amazing. One battery, AA battery in each one. They last ages, they really, really do. whilst we're on battery life, you get about 2 hours on a full charge of this. And I know there are battery packs you can get for the back. You can just plug it in and play it from there. But what I actually like, the fact that it is only 2 hours. I know people like to play their games and play and play and play. But that 2 hour sort of, it's just like, okay, you've had your time now, turn it off, do something else. I like that. I know that's not an intended feature, but I like that. I like that kind of, this is your time you're playing and then you stop and do something else. The lenses that are just on the inside, I know that the first Oculus Quest had one where you can fine adjust it. For the most part, they have been absolutely fine, but I've had the odd person who, no matter which setting they put it in, it's always out of focus. So, there is an adapter, so I'm just going through them as I'm thinking of. There is an adapter as well to extend here, so if you've got glasses on, you can play this no problem. Games-wise, a very big library of games for this. It's hard to, Beat Saber. Beat Saber's one that I've played an awful lot. There's that boxing game as well, been playing quite a bit. There's golf games and everything else. I know people really like their first person sort of games with this. I struggle. One thing I struggle with this is motion sickness. And people always say, oh, just do it, push past it, you'll get there. I've tried. Even the art of, like, when I'm sitting there, I've got it on and I'm just walking forward, it feels like I'm falling backwards, and after 5 minutes I've got to take it off. So that is pretty much some of the negatives, right? Just getting them all out the way in one go. So what are the positives about this? And do I regret buying it? I do not regret buying this, right? And this is my reason why I don't regret buying it. It's when it came out, right? I don't use this as much as I used to. But when this came out, especially here in the UK, we were in the middle of a proper lockdown. We had everything cancelled. You couldn't go out, you couldn't see anyone, you couldn't go anywhere. This was an escape. Whereas the PlayStation is playing games, this is a social thing. And I know this is going to sound very much Ready Player One and all the rest of it, but it really is. A mate of mine, he only lives about 10 minutes down the road, but we were in lockdown, we couldn't see each other. We'd meet up on here with his Quest, Rift, and my Quest 2. We'd meet up in Big Screen, I think it's called. And on a Friday night, he'd have a few beers at his, I'd have a few beers at mine. We'd go and watch some MMA fighting. We'd go and watch a movie. We'd go, you know what I mean? And when this is on, it feels like I was talking to him in the room. It really did. He said to himself, it's like, look, I know you're not really over there, but every time I speak to you, I turn to look at you and I gesture at things. And you know what I mean? It was absolutely great. Big Screen again. I used to, on a Friday or Saturday, used to host like little concerts and stuff like that. I'd always put Pink Floyd on, or you know what I mean, Led Zeppelin or something like that. And it's really weird because it was the big campsite bit, so they've got a fire burning in front of us. You got the massive screen in front of you, and I think you could have up to 12 people in the room. You just left it open invitation to whoever wants to join. So people would pop in, come and go backwards and forwards, and I met some amazing people in there. Had some great conversations. I was talking to a woman who is a surgeon in America about Pink Floyd, that when she was younger, what the concerts and everything used to be like, and she's been to this one and been to this one, and you know, and regularly we'd meet up every single Friday and what concert you're putting on today. Poker, a silly thing as it is, I'd sit there for an hour or so playing poker and just chatting, like I'm chatting to you now, like I'm chatting to anybody else in the room, whilst playing poker. After 5 minutes, you forget you're in VR. You know what I mean? You're just sitting there talking to, this guy's from Texas, this guy's from here, this guy's from there, and they're all around the world, all discussing thoughts of the day and everything. It was a proper escape during lockdown. It really was. And it got me through. It really did. Now we're kind of out of lockdown. Well, we're definitely out of lockdown. Whether it will come back again, I don't know. I really don't. it's hard to not date this video when it's just everything's going on, and this is what this is about. I do not regret buying this, because this really did become a social outlet during those really tough times. Just meeting up and talking to random people is absolutely great. Moving through to now that we are at a lockdown, do I use it as much? I don't use it as much. I really don't. There are times that I used to go in there and speak to my mate. I now go out and speak to him. But there's still the odd time when we'll just come back here and go, some MMA fighting on. Do you want to come and have a watch? One of these nights that always sticks into my head was, it was me, my mate, and some guy from Texas watching MMA fighting, but there must have been a slight delay on each one of like as we entered the room. So as we were like, oh, bloody hell, that hurt, and then somebody turned, oh, what was that? Oh, and then he got it, and then the next person got it. I just had a great laugh. Biggest regret with this though is a lot of people who I ended up meeting quite regularly I've kind of lost touch with, which it's more on my part than anything else, because I haven't gone back into this world. And that's what it is. It's another world. What does this get used for the most now? Well, it gets used by my son, Oscar. He is obsessed with Rec Room. He goes in there and he plays all these games. Now he's having that social experience that I was having. He meets up with regular people and everything else. So yes, it was worth buying. I do not regret this at all. As far as the motion sickness goes, if you do suffer with motion sickness with the VR, there are a lot of games that you can play that you won't, because I suffer bad motion sickness. I mean, you can sit there and you can play, you can go play golf, you can go play ping pong, you can go to some racing games, everything. Racing games, when I'm sitting in the cockpit, is fine. When I'm behind the car, I get motion sickness. Very odd. What was the worst one for me? There was like a zero gravity, like, used to throw frisbees at each other, catch it, and you had to score, you know what I mean? So it was like a 3-on-3 sort of like game. But it was the fact that I didn't know whether I was up, down, left, right, going, you know what I mean? No. Thinking about it now makes me feel green. It's just, I pushed through it. I had 2 or 3 matches, I really pushed through it, but then I took it off. And my wife said, you alright? I said, yeah, I just need to lie on the floor. So, would I recommend the Oculus Quest to other people? 100%. 100% I would recommend this to people, because it's not just about the games. It really isn't about the games. And yeah, it's an experience, and it's an experience I'm glad that I had during that lockdown. It just came out at the right time for me. Right, anyway, that's enough waffle of the Oculus Quest 2. I am actually going to go into big screen in a bit and go watch some Star Trek. I always like big screen as well, because you can sit there with like lots of other people and it feels like a proper cinema. You know what I mean? It doesn't just feel like you're in a VR and I was watching that. It feels like I'm looking around at the seats and people and everything else. And you can pick up apples and stuff and throw them at people, but in Star Trek it's zero gravity, so it flies further. I didn't realise as well that I had the fake audience turned off, so I can only see where the real people are. A mate of mine's got it so he can see everyone, including all the fake people. And he's like, the cinema's full of people. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. I do love it. I'll never regret buying this. And I'd highly recommend anyone else to go out and get one too. Great price, and you will love it. Right, that's enough of me waffling for a while. And guys, I will catch you all again next time. Bye.